Have you ever wondered why some people stop working, yet their wealth keeps growing? They no longer earn a salary, they are not going to work every day, but somehow their bank accounts continue to expand year after year. At first, it sounds like a mystery or even magic, but the truth is, it is not magic at all. It is just math, a kind of math that most people do not notice until they are already living it. And today, I am going to show you exactly how to make that formula work for you. But first, hit the like button for this video and let us get started. Most of us picture retirement with a sense of anxiety. No more income, just your savings, and every day that number slowly shrinks. Every time you withdraw money, it feels like watching water drip from a bucket. You start to wonder, how long until it runs dry? But here's the twist. For millions of retirees, the opposite is true. That bucket, it is not emptying, it is refilling itself. Their wealth continues to grow, even faster than it did when they were still working. It is a paradox, one that leaves most people in awe. But it is not the result of some hidden trick. It is actually the outcome of several forces working together. A simpler lifestyle, steady streams of passive income, more mindful financial habits. And one powerful force I will reveal in just a minute. Once you understand this, you will realize something important. Retirement does not have to be the moment your money starts running out. It can actually be the moment your wealth grows the fastest. Let's start with the famous 4% rule. You might have heard of it. If you withdraw just 4% of your savings per year, adjusted for inflation, your retirement fund could last at least 30 years, even through major crises like the Great Depression. That number is considered extremely safe. In fact, the original researcher later admitted that even 5% would likely still be conservative. But here's the surprising part. Most retirees never even withdraw that much. They spend far less than expected. And that's where the hidden math starts to shine. The reason is simple. Spending drops much more than most people imagine. Before retirement, we all picture constant travel, cruises, fancy dinners, shopping sprees. But the reality is gentler. Yes, the first year might include a few trips. But soon, the fatigue of airports and heavy luggage makes staying home more appealing. The thrill of travel fades, comfort becomes the new luxury. So vacation expenses drop sharply. Entertainment follows the same pattern. Sure, early on it's dinners out, concerts, ball games. But over time, a quiet home-cooked meal, an evening with close friends or family, that's what brings joy. They do not cut back because they have to. They choose to, because it simply fits better. Transportation costs, they plunge. No more traffic jams, no more school drop-offs. Many families go from 2 cars to 1, fewer repairs, lower insurance. These may seem small individually, but together they save thousands per year. Even as healthcare costs rise, they rarely offset the big drops in travel, entertainment, and transportation. Which means one thing. Total spending declines significantly. If you look at the data, the pattern is clear. The average American household spends about $77,000 per year. But for retirees, that number drops significantly. From ages 65 to 74, they spend around $65,000. After 75, it drops even further to about $53,000. That's nearly $12,000 less per year, or close to 1/5 less. This is not an exception, it's the norm. Now, let's add another piece of the puzzle, Social Security. The average individual receives about $2,000 per month. That's $24,000 a year. For a couple, it's close to $48,000 annually, adjusted for inflation, paid reliably like clockwork. So let's imagine a couple in their late 60s spending $65,000 per year. At first glance, it seems they'd need a full $1 million saved to cover it. But with $48,000 coming from Social Security, they only need to withdraw an extra $17,000 from their savings. That's it. Once they hit 75, their average spending drops to $53,000. But Social Security still brings in $48,000. Now the gap is just $5,000 a year, a far cry from the scary scenarios many imagine. Let's revisit the 4% rule. With a $1 million portfolio, they could withdraw $40,000 a year. But in reality, they only need about $17,000, sometimes even less. What happens to the rest? It stays invested. It keeps growing. And that's how wealth continues to build, even after you stop working. Imagine retiring with $1 million in your account. According to theory, you plan to withdraw $40,000 per year. But thanks to Social Security and your reduced living expenses, you actually only need $20,000. That means $980,000 stays invested. If your portfolio grows at 7%, you make nearly $70,000 in 1 year. Even after taking out that $20,000, your wealth still grows by around $50,000. So after just 12 months of retirement, your net worth is higher than when you started. Keep this up for 10 years, and your portfolio could double while you still live comfortably the entire time. This is called the consumption gap, the space between what you could spend and what you actually spend. Driven by cautious habits, the fear of running out, and the comfort of seeing your wealth grow, most retirees never touch the full amount they could use. And that restraint, it creates a powerful snowball effect. Your money keeps growing, like an invisible money printing machine quietly working in the background. Now, don't forget real estate. Many retirees have paid off their homes. No mortgage, no rent. Meanwhile, housing prices tend to rise by 3% to 5% per year, quietly inflating the value of their assets. Taxes also become friendlier. No regular paycheck means a lower tax bracket. Social Security is only partially taxed, and withdrawals from investments can be managed to minimize tax hits. All of this adds up to one thing: your money lasts longer, and retirement feels a lot more comfortable than you ever imagined. Another key factor is flexibility. The 4% rule assumes you withdraw the same percentage every year, regardless of whether the market goes up or down. But in real life, most retirees behave much more flexibly. When the economy dips, they naturally adjust. They postpone vacations, hold off on buying that new car, or delay home renovations. These small shifts can go a long way in extending the life of a portfolio. When the market recovers, they feel more at ease spending again. And this elasticity, this give and take, adds another layer of protection that most financial models forget to include. Which means that the fear of running out of money rarely plays out. In fact, many retirees end up dying with more money than they started with. The real issue is not lack of money. It is the hesitation to spend, the cautious lifestyle, and the quiet regret of leaving behind a large chunk of unused wealth. Imagine a couple entering retirement with $1 million. They expect to spend it down over time. But thanks to Social Security, naturally reduced expenses, modest withdrawals, and a growing market, 20 years later, they have over $2 million. They lived well, but still never tapped into their full financial power. And the next generation inherits a small fortune. That is why retirement is not as scary as many people believe. Rather than being the time when wealth depletes, it often becomes the most profitable season of life. You stop working, but your capital keeps working hard. Of course, there are exceptions. Some people have little savings or face unexpected health challenges that throw their plans off course. But overall, those with a modest nest egg often find themselves watching their net worth grow after they stop working. When you add it all up, reduced spending, steady Social Security income, conservative withdrawals, flexible budgeting, rising home values, lighter taxes, and cautious habits, you get a picture that looks nothing like the usual fear. Retirement, instead of being a time of scarcity, often becomes a time of greater financial abundance. So instead of imagining a leaky bucket slowly draining, picture an underground spring that keeps flowing even as you scoop from it. It is not a fantasy. It is the real experience of countless retirees. And you can create that reality too. In other words, retirement is not the end of financial growth. It could be the very beginning of the most profitable chapter of your entire life. If you want to give it a try, join our free Telegram group using the link below. I will show you how, with just a few free hours each week, you can run a faceless YouTube channel just like this one. And the fact that you're still watching, that's proof it works. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit like if you found this helpful, and share your future plans in the comments. I read them all, and I'll try to respond to each of you. See you again soon. And just to be clear, I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for sharing and informational purposes only. Your real-life results will always depend on what you choose to do with what you've learned.